Welcome to another weekly Outlook video. So last week was beautiful. Price played out exactly as we had analyzed. I hope you were able to get something from the expansion that price delivered. So if you struggle with entries and identifying key levels that price is likely to react from during the week, you can join my trading community. So inside the community, you'll get insights into how I trade. You'll get to see the key levels I'm watching, and also you'll get to see how I break down the market using SMC, ICT concepts. It's a great community for traders who want to understand price delivery and they also want to improve their execution. So I'll put a link in the description box below and I'll also pin it in the comment section. As usual, we're going to start with DXY. So DXY is the dollar index, and today I want us to start our analysis from the monthly time frame. And as you can see on the monthly time frame, of course, this month of March, we have 16 days left before the candle closes, and so far you can see it's bullish. Price has already tagged this buy side liquidity. So we've been calling this buy side liquidity for like majority part of this month, and finally price has gotten to it. So on the weekly time frame, so far this is what we have, and you can see price actually closed above this buy side liquidity. So this shows that this DXY is really strong, and it even closed above this high here. Now you can clearly see the past 2 weeks we've had all this rally, and we are at a point where we can see this market is at a real premium. Even if you want to buy, this is the last place you want to buy most of the time, or the best is normally after price is on a premium, you want price to retrace to a discount before you continue buying. That's normally the best way we trade. But if you look at it right now, you can see this market is strongly bullish and it is still at a premium. So this is how I see this week is likely to play out. So first thing you can see, this buy side liquidity here, which is a flat top candle. Most of the time price loves such kind of liquidity. So there's a high probability what I see this week, price is likely just to open the week and rally, tag this, then now we get retracement for the week, and we might end up having the whole week is just a retracement. So price can even end up giving us a midweek reversal profile. So if we look at the daily time frame, you can see, of course, that high is right here, and you can see on the daily time frame, Friday we had all this bullish expansion, and so far we have this fair value gap right here left by price. So we have 1 2 3, yeah, so we're going to mark it together. Okay, we also have this here, so this fair value gap, all this, yes. So same thing, or we end up having a retracement to this before continue going higher. So let's look at USDCHF. So USDCHF and dollar index are positively correlated, and if you look at the monthly time frame, okay, so far this is what we have. Finally it's now bullish, but we're not yet done. We still have 16 days left before this monthly candle closes. So if you look at the weekly time frame, you can see finally this week USDCHF gave us a very nice expansion. Still USDCHF has not inverted this fair value gap, but if you look at the DXY price actually inverted this weekly fair value gap, and we got to these highs here. So you can see USDCHF is still lagging, and it could be because of what is happening right now. You know, CHF is a safe haven currency. So most of the time when there's so much turmoil going on, like what is currently happening, geopolitical wars and all that, we find a lot of people prefer to buy safe haven currencies, and one of them is CHF. And I think that could explain why CHF still has some strength despite US dollar being stronger. So if you look at the daily time frame, of course, now you can clearly see USDCHF price did not get to these highs here, while dollar price got to those highs. So okay, so far what we have for USDCHF, you can see we have this inversion fair value gap here. So, and we also have price has also left behind this daily fair value gap. So we have daily fair value gap and an inversion fair value gap. Now either we get a retracement to this inversion fair value gap and we get that bullish move, or price gives us a deeper retracement to this daily fair value gap before we get that bullish momentum. And you can see we have these highs here, so that can happen. If dollar is if you're going to get a midweek reversal, then it would be nice if it can take this high and then we get that midweek reversal profile. But you can clearly see dollar is really stretched. It's really at a premium compared to USDCHF. So let's look at GBPUSD. So GBPUSD and dollar are negatively correlated, and so far you can see on the monthly time frame, there's this fair value gap here. We still have 16 days left before this monthly candle closes, so it depends. Either we close inside by respecting this monthly fair value gap, or it gets inverted. So that's the only way I see. So for GBPUSD, I want to take you back to the 3 months time frame. If you look at the 3 months time frame, you can see we had this fair value gap here, which got tagged by this candle, and right now you can see it's bearish. So there's another possibility. If price is going to retrace back to this fair value gap, then this low here is a good target. Price can come for these lows here. So let's look at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, you can see this inversion fair value gap here. So I see that we get a retracement to this, then continue going lower. That's one way. Or we end up having a bullish week. If we end up having a bearish week for DXY where price is retracing, then of course you can expect to also see GBPUSD also give us a retracement, and we'll be looking at all these highs here. So let's look at EURUSD. On the monthly time frame, so far you can see this is what we have. That's all I see. So if you look at the weekly time frame, again, you can see it's really bearish. Price took out all these lows here. And right now, price is at a real discount for EURUSD. So again, the same thing as DXY. Either price comes for this liquidity, and then we get a retracement, a deep retracement in that. We can see we have this gap here. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see the weekly volume imbalance is right here, and on the daily time frame, there's a tiny fair value gap right here. So again, what I see as high probability, this low here is too close. We get a tag of sweep of this low, and then we get a midweek reversal profile to this right here. That would be really nice. And then now from there, if it's still bearish, you can expect to get bearish momentum from there. If we open the week and it's just bearish and it continues going bearish, at that point, most probably I don't have a trade, because now I cannot continue selling at this point here. I need to see a retracement, because this is really cheap. You don't want to sell at a cheaper price. So let's look at the yen basket. So starting with the monthly time frame, you can see yen is really bearish. So we already taken out 2024 low. So this is now the new low from the last time this low here was created. So for yen basket, we have news on Thursday, Bank of Japan. It's about interest rate. So that news is what will actually determine if you're likely to see more bearish yen, or are we likely to see a bullish yen. So if you look at the weekly time frame, so far I can see last week, finally price took these lows here, and so far it has left behind this fair value gap. So either we might have a consolidation as price is waiting for that Thursday news, or we have a retracement to this fair value gap, and then from there we can see. So let's look at the daily time frame. You can clearly see on the daily time frame, price has inverted this fair value gap here. So if price is bullish, if yen is going to be bullish, then it can be nice if price uses this to push price higher. If you're going to have a retracement to that weekly fair value gap, then our draw of liquidity would be this weekly fair value gap right here. So let's look at GBPJPY. So GBPJPY and yen basket are negatively correlated. And so far, this is what we had last week. So price just had all this bullish move, and that's all we have. So if you're going to have a bearish GBPJPY, which means yen basket is bullish, we can build a case by saying, okay, price was retracing to this weekly order block here. So on the daily time frame, you can clearly see Friday. That's what we had. So far, price has left behind this tiny inversion fair value gap. So if it's still bearish, price can use this to push price lower. So let's look at gold. If you look at gold so far, this is what we have on the weekly time frame. You can see last week bearish, but it closed still as an inside candle. So this is an inside candle that is actually expanding lower. Price just failed to get to this low. So chances are high price is coming for these lows here. So let's look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, you can see price gold used this bearish fair value gap to give us this bearish momentum here. And so far we have this bullish fair value gap that has been holding gold bullish for all this time. So I'm watching this. If price inverts this, then there's a high probability that it will be used to push price lower. But I want you to remember that gold is at all-time highs. So let's look at NAS 100, and you can see NAS 100 price has finally taken out February lows, and so far this is what we have. Again, more gaps, volume imbalance. We have this. So if it's still bearish, it would be nice if price retraces, we tag this, and then we continue going lower. So if you look at the daily time frame, you can see we've been inside a range between this high and this low here. So right now, so far you can see it's really bearish. There's a high probability that price is coming for this range low, which should really be nice. So if price is coming for this range low, then you can see, of course, we have that weekly volume imbalance here. And now we have an order block for the daily time frame. These consecutive bullish candles, the moment we had these consecutive bearish candles closing below it, this is an order block. So high probability, we like to see price, of course, tag that volume imbalance as we tag this order block, because all this is the order block. Then we continue going lower. Okay, so that is all I had prepared for this weekly outlook video. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next one.